Greetings, everyone. Great to be with you once again. Great to be learning with you. Thank you so much for all you do by the way of service, learning, and growing. Our presentation today is entitled Meditation in Depth 17, the theming paradoxes of meditation. Meditation is the key and central practice of spirituality for the mastery of life. Much progress can be made when meditation is practiced daily. Meditation may seem like a paradox. For example, how can I heal myself and others by just sitting there in stillness? How can meditation be an act of non-avoidance when we are not facing anything? Does meditation help us solve problems by not trying to solve them? By letting go of who I am? Do I fully become myself? How does surrendering lead to the greatest strength and competence? These common and not so common questions and more will be discussed. To get us underway, I want to share with you a particular work of art. And you'll see before you now a very intriguing work. It's by Lucas Samaras. It's entitled Mirrored Room. And Lucas was born in Greece and is an American. He lived from 1936 to relatively recently in 2024. And what we're seeing before us is a sculpture installation, but also a work of architecture in its own right. You may have seen it at the Buffalo AKG Art Museum. You may know it as the earlier years as the Albright Knox Gallery in Buffalo. The work dates from 1966. It's mirror on wood. Overall, it's 8 feet by 8 feet by 10 feet, or approximately 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters by 3 meters. We're viewing, of course, the exterior. And this is a remarkable work in what occurs from going from the outside to the inside. Intriguingly, you can see the squares of the mirrored glass on the outside. There's, if you look on the left side here, we've got 4 high, 5 long. That reminds of course, of a major third. And pitch ratio of 5:4, the fifth harmonic in relation to the fourth, thinking in music and vibrational terms. What we're going to see here may remind you some works that you've seen by the Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama and her Infinity Room works. Also, sometimes you may have been in a particular space that actually from the outside looked a lot smaller than it appears to be on the inside. Well, this is very much the case with the mirrored room we're about to enter. I know some of you may be fans of the Doctor Who series. For example, it comes to mind the time machine and spacecraft, the TARDIS, which is an acronym for time and relative dimension in space, where this Time Lord, Doctor Who, journeys in space-time throughout the universe. There's also a parallel here we'll see shortly with the great allegory of the Western tradition of philosophy and mysticism, Plato's cave, where a person who's chained inside a cave and seeing reflections from the fire behind him, showing shadows, and thinking that was the true world, finally gets unleashed from his chains and goes out from the cave, out into the bright sunlight, and sees a much more vast, more expansive world, and in a certain sense represents closer to the veracity or the truth of his experience. Part of this parallel also, you'll see the door on the side here, relates to our Rosicrucian initiations, the traditional initiations where one is on the threshold of initiation. And there's the movement from the finite plane outside in this world. Inside is very suggestive of the infinite plane, as we'll see shortly, that occurs during meditation. For example, it will do shortly, where we go from the finite plane to the infinite plane, from outer to the great vastness within. Let's step inside now and invite you to prepare yourself for this. In we go. And so that small space that we saw outside suddenly appears unlimited in expanse. For the artist is laid down mirrors on the floor, on the ceiling, 4 walls, and even the furniture you see before you in terms of the chair and a table. You see how things repeat again and again. Here's a chair repeated and again repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated, apparently ad infinitum. You also see here, photographer was taking the picture from the door, but then they're repeated over here and, and then repeated here, but then also again and again and again and again and again. In a way, Lucas wanted to have this work as a homage to what's very familiar to us, and yet show us a new way of looking at it. For example, the mirror. Possibly in your home, you've seen on sometimes you've had a mirror on a closet that's opened, and then you're standing before a mirror, for example, in your bathroom. You look back, and you see yourself from behind or from the side that you don't normally get. Surprising vantage points. Indeed, if you see a more vertical orientated work here, you'll see quite easily here the chair and the table. He's worked with the green shades here. As you look down, things are repeated ad infinitum, up 4 directions. In a way, it's sort of you're at the center of the cosmos, as we will soon experience when we rise to the heights of the celestial sanctum. This I wanted to show you because it is like the seeming paradox of meditation, where we're about to go from the finite plane to the infinite plane, or increasingly realize the infinite plane. Ralph M. Lewis, in his book, The Sanctuary of Self, they'll give you resources on, talks about the importance of experiencing the cosmic and then emulating the cosmic. The cosmic Rosicrucians refer to the universal intelligence back of the cosmos and all natural and spiritual laws. The meditation, as we experience that cosmic, that universal intelligence, is a foundation of our being, behooves us then to apply that. And this is what, in fact, Lucas Samaras has done with this remarkable work, Mirrored Room. And it's part of the seeming paradox of how something that seems so small on the outside seems so vast on the inside. In a way, this is a parallel of what it is to be a human being. So it's inspired by this work before us and its sense of vastness and a new way of looking at the familiar. I invite you to ascend to the heights of the celestial sanctum now, and we'll undertake a similar action to the mirrored room. When you're ready, I invite you to close your eyes and just let go of the cares of the day. At first, I invite you to concentrate on your breath. So we'll do a breathing meditation at first. You may wish to be lying down or seated in your chair, whatever your position. It's good to get comfortable and also to breathe in an unencumbered way. And we'll just follow the discipline of the breath, discipline in a good sense of being self-assertive, of the mastery of living and life. I invite you to breathe a little deeper than usual or to the degree comfortable, and to extend your exhalation longer than your inhalation to the degree comfortable. You may wish to apply the musical ratio 5:4 that was applied in the mirrored room, duration of 5 units, your exhalation to 4 units, time for your inhalation, or extend it out even further to the octave, 2:1 or 1:2. As we breathe more deeply, we'll take in more of the air and what the Rosicrucians refer to as the vital life force, the VLF. Known in some traditions as the chi. Just enjoy the gentle rhythm of the breath, part of a great vast network of octaves of vibrations. The Rosicrucians refer to as the cosmic keyboard. All these phenomena and more we study in our weekly monographs at home as part of being a Rosicrucian student. With the weekly applied exercises like we're doing right now, gradually build up and strengthen ourselves. A great series of exploration and adventure and living. And with that extended exhalation, I think you'll find automatically occurs, without trying even, the relaxation response. And with each extended exhalation, longer in the inhalation, there's a building or cumulative effect of that relaxation, that calm, that tranquility, that peacefulness, that equanimity and equipoise and imperturbability. Let's just let go of the cares of the day, center on the present, anchoring and stilling and centering ourselves through the breath and the breathing. Profoundly simple act, never to be underestimated. For as we master the breath, increasingly be able to master our lives, live in harmony with all. Our bodies, the holy temple, like to be relaxed, like to be calmed. It's soothing, especially if we've had a challenging day and we feel a little roughed up, or if we've had a greatly uplifting day. This action of the calming breath will intensify the joy and upliftment. With each incoming breath, you may wish to picture the master within, or sense the presence of the master within, the divine within, our inner self, increasingly soaking up its presence, being all the more in its presence, enjoying the enrichment. With each outgoing breath, we feel the relaxation response. We can also let go of the cares of the day or any anxieties or vexation, things that are concerning us at this time. I assure you, after this period of meditation, we'll come back to them all the more confident, all the more capable, all the more able to embrace them for their life-giving lesson, now and always. It's a way of life on the mystical path. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's let go of who we are not and be more fully ourselves. In this manner, a great deal of energy is released, because it takes a lot of energy to be who we are not. Soon we'll continue our period of meditation by phasing into a related form of meditation described in the Rosicrucian booklet. I'll give you resources for after the presentation. It's entitled Liber 777. Begin our ascent to the heights of the celestial sanctum. I invite you to say with me, as we apply the law of purification, the following prayer and invocation. May the divine essence of the cosmic infuse my being and cleanse me of all impurities of mind and body, that I may enter the celestial sanctum and attune in pureness and in worthiness. So mote it be. Now let us use all our psychic faculties and our full imaginative capacity to sense or picture ourselves rising up from the room where we are, be it our office, a room in our home, or elsewhere situated, rising up faster and faster with great rapidity over our building, over our neighborhood, over our local geographic area, or village, or town, or city, rising faster and faster and enjoying the ascent, just like we experienced that great expansion on entry into the mirrored room, like the speed of light reflecting back and forth from all the mirrors, creating a sense of vast space. We rise higher and higher, faster and faster, up over now our province or state, great nation or country, even our continent and hemisphere, even up over the beautiful blue jewel of the earth, the temple of the earth, noting its great motions, including the rotation about its axis, and the beautiful white reflective satellite, the moon, revolving about the planet Earth. So we head higher and higher, past the great elliptical orbits of the planets and the great fiery ball of the sun, our local stars. We rise higher and higher beyond the solar system now, transcending space and time, going way beyond the speed of light, past the myriad stellar phenomena, the quasars, the pulsars, the black holes balancing the universe. Great cosmic web connecting the stars and the galaxies. We pass out from the great arm, the Milky Way galaxy where we dwell, past stars and nebula, looking back at its vast spiraling structure, it also rotating about its center. Just like our lives in the cosmos rotate about us, our divine nature. So we rise higher and higher past other galaxies in various forms, nebula, and sense increasingly what ancient philosophers and mystics described as the harmony of the spheres, the music of the spheres. Wondrous vibratory actions, higher and higher octaves of the cosmic keyboard. Indeed, our master living in harmony is being like a great pianist that can play cosmic keyboard, as we're doing now, and are trained to do through our weekly Rosicrucian monographs as we rise higher and higher now, enjoying the exhilaration of the ascent. As we ascend, we apply the law of cosmic attunement, increasingly experiences the cosmic experiences, and the law of correspondence. As we move deeper and deeper into space, we move deeper and deeper within ourselves, inner space. As we rise higher and higher, we go farther and farther within ourselves, the very presence of the divine within, matching the universal intelligence throughout the cosmos, the cosmic. As we rise higher and higher, we sense now the entire universe rotating about a great cosmic axis. So we sense the presence of that cosmic axis move towards its center, the very midpoint of the axis, the center of the universe. When you reach it, slow up and take in the vastness of the universe, just like we took in the suggested vastness within Lucas Samaris's mirrored room, as we've passed from the finite plane to the infinite plane as an astonishing, awe-inspiring experience. Let us apply further instructions of the booklet Liber 777 by sensing or visualizing or mentally creating our personal sacred space, our celestial sanctum. You may wish simply to have it as the mirrored room artwork that we just experienced, or an inspiring temple back on earth, or an inspiring place in nature, suggestive of the holiness, the divine temple, the cosmos. Fill in the sights and sounds and impressions with physical and psychic and overall spiritual nature, exhilarated to be at this high point of consciousness. They wish to picture incense rising, suggestive of the law of transmutation that we've undertook as we rose to the heights of the celestial sanctum. They wish to picture artworks or stained glass windows depicting mystical and Rosicrucian laws and principles. They wish to sense the presence of all those on this conference call with us, and the visible and invisible masters, the Grand Lodge and Supreme Grand Lodge officers of the Rosicrucian Order Amark, conducting sacred mystical convocation at the heights of the celestial sanctum. And when you filled in all these inspiring impressions of your choice in your personal sacred space, your celestial sanctum, I invite you to release it shortly by saying with me, if it pleases the cosmic, it is done. So mote it be. And let us dwell for a period in silence and stillness. In cosmic attunement at the heights of the celestial sanctum. Now, soon we'll continue our meditation, anticipating a period of what Rosicrucians refer to as metaphysical aid. I invite you now to join me in further work and worship of the Rosicrucian Order Amark by participating in the work of the Silent Council in conjunction with the Council of Solace of the Rosicrucian Order Amark. Invite us now to radiate like a great floodlight out from us, out into the cosmos, radiating love and well-being to all those who've petitioned Grand Lodge, the Rosicrucian Order Amorc, for guidance and healing. And let us radiate love and well-being to all those who've petitioned affiliate bodies of the Rosicrucian Order Amorc for guidance and healing. And let us radiate love and well-being to all those we know who are in need of guidance and healing. And finally, let us radiate love and well-being to all sentient beings throughout the cosmos who are in need of guidance and healing. Just let the radiation, the healing forces from the depths of our being radiate outwards like a great energy, great floodlight, reaching all in need. At first, you can use great inner spiritual force, just like we use to rise to the heights of the celestial sanctum, to get the flow going. Do not be concerned whether this is possible or not. Just let it happen. Just let the flow continue. At a certain point, I think you may find that it speeds up and you know you're reaching those in need. At a certain point, I think you'll find too that you no longer need to make any outward conscious effort. Continuation will continue from deep within our being through the divine within, who knows this action well, and it is our birthright to participate in. When you feel that, I invite you then just let the radiations flow and enjoy the dynamic stillness and great re-energization and restfulness and healing effect. Soon we'll formally close this period sending metaphysical aid, but we'll continue our period of meditation longer. Close this period of work of the silent council, assured that the radiations will continue from the depths of our being, lying within, as a way of life and part of our mission in life. I invite you to say with me now, cosmic law fulfills. It pleases the cosmic. It is done. So mote it be. Now let us dwell a while longer at the heights of the celestial sanctum, allowing our minds to fill the universe, becoming one with the cosmic mind. Just like the love and well-being radiated out, let our mind encompass the universe, being one with the cosmic mind, experiencing as the cosmic experiences, assuming the cosmic now. Soon we'll begin our descent from the heights of the celestial sanctum. We wish to invoke now the law of gratitude, which intensifies the application, the law of cosmic attunement. We wish to express your gratitude for this opportunity to rise to the heights of the celestial sanctum, to come more fully into ourselves, increasingly experience the rose quartz state, experience the cosmic consciousness. Grateful for this opportunity to be of service to the work of the silent counsel, in conjunction with the council of solace. And we wish to radiate our gratitude and thanks to all those who have taught us well, and radiate love, well-being, and thanks to all those who have loved us well, and radiate our gratitude and thanks to all those who sacrificed well on our behalf. And shown us a great example in living, behooves us to follow through the guidance of the Master within. I invite us to begin our descent from the heights of the celestial sanctum, moving with tremendous speed and great rapidity, way beyond the speed of light, zooming past the nebula, stellar phenomena, the quasars, the pulsars, the great galaxies, cosmic web connecting the stars and planets, enjoying the harmony of the spheres, the symphonic music of the cosmos. Work of the great master pianist. In the distance, we see great spiraling arms of our home, the Milky Way galaxy. As we plunge into the great arm where we dwell, past myriad stars, planets, asteroids, and comets, black holes helping balance the universe, nebula, stars in various stages of their life cycle. As we see in the distance, our solar system, our local star, the temple of the earth, our hemisphere and continent, great nation or country, province or state, our county, our geographic area, our village or town or city, our neighborhood, invite you to say with me the following prayer and invocation. Formally conclude a period of cosmic attunement we'll take into this day and always. May the God of my heart sanctify this attunement of self with the celestial sanctum. So mote it be. Let us now descend on the building where we left off, our office or home or otherwise, back in the room, however we're situated. This time you may wish to stretch, moving your toes and your fingers, arching your back, your arms, stretching out your legs, however you wish. Feeling remade, re-energized, rested, all the more ready for the work and worship of the Rosicrucian Order, MORC, now and always. Thank you. Continue our presentation now. On the seeming paradoxes of meditation. Now, proceed with a series of questions. Indeed, life generally can seem like a paradox or an enigma. And in many ways, reading the Rosicrucian laws and principles or spiritual laws and principles is a bit like learning how to decipher. It's similar to in cryptography, and how things need a particular key unlock. For example, let's consider the following apparent paradox in this question. In regard to meditation, you sometimes ask, how can I heal myself and others by just sitting there in stillness? We see in a way, you may have just sat or lying down for about half an hour in stillness, meditating. And yet we work with the silent counsel in conjunction with the counsel of solace. An act of healing, not an act of self-aggrandizement, but letting the healing forces flow out from us. We've moved up the octaves of the cosmic keyboard, which may outwardly physically appear to have stillness to the sensory perception of others, but a tremendous amount of actions going on. The stillness in meditation is highly dynamic. Even if we're concentrating on our breath to anchor us like we did, we can still feel beneath the surface. There's a tremendous amount of activity going on, a great harmonization, moving into what Rosicrucians refer to as harmonium. It's very healing and making whole. And as we come more and more into this health and wholeness, we can help others in being so well, and vice versa. Somewhat like two tuning forks. When one is sounded as it's on the same frequency, it starts to vibrate as well. We have that similarity by virtue of being a human being connected through the one soul, like a series of lights and one series of electricity flowing through. Indeed, there's many health benefits in healing actions and meditation. I'll mention a few. There was more we've mentioned along the way in this meditation series, and also earlier in a teleconference entitled Science on Meditation that's available through Rosicrucian TV that we're giving the resources on later. We know through randomized controlled trials and other scientific experiments in recent decades, but also through our own time-tested work in the Rosicrucian Order and our first-hand experience, the human body, in a certain sense, is a very subtle instrument that one can learn how it's healing. We know, for example, that meditation helps us in self-acceptance and self-compassion. And then that can be turned towards acceptance of all that we experience and all who we experience, and compassion towards others in a great unity. We know that meditation helps us to think more clearly. In the calmness that we have, that crucial and even hastens healing. It also boosts our immune system, the calmness in this period of meditation. So we move more into ease rather than dis-ease. We have a particular ailment, it'll be sped up in its healing, but also our immune system is boosted, so we're less likely to become ill. We also find that there's a pain reduction, and there's also an anti-inflammatory and an inflammatory response. In a way, we start to feel like our whole being is being charged up, like doing a spring tune-up of a vehicle or of a bicycle. As individual parts start to work better, there's a synergistic or added effect, a multiplicative effect in the boost and healing. And even if we're feeling quite well, through meditation or weekly lessons and cosmic attunements, we can get even greater sense of how good a human being can feel when we let go and let these healing actions take place. Not in any selfish way, because as we become more healed, we become more able to be involved in the great healing of others. In this sense, the master within is the master physician, or the great divine healer within us that works with all other healers. And indeed, if we are in the healing profession, it behooves us to do regular meditation and have the presence and guidance of the master within as our co-healer with us. You can also ask about meditation in a seeming paradoxical way. How can meditation be an act of non-avoidance when we are not facing anything? It appears like just sitting there. What are we facing? Are we dealing with important issues in our life? Important things that we're supposed to be solving and resolving? It is surprising in that way because there's what's involved here is what psychologists would call technically um, metacognitive not avoidance. It's true while we sit in meditation that we're not explicitly trying to solve anything unless we've asked a question explicitly or we've taken a question into meditation. That can happen as well. But even then, we have to let go and let the deeper part of ourselves deal with it. But a non avoidance can say, well, don't I always have to be trying to deal with things? And no, by letting go, that can be important part of facing things. And particularly after meditation period, when we're all the more competent, all the more attuned with the cosmic, we'll be all the more able to face whatever we need to face, embrace further life-giving lessons, as past imperator H. Spencer Lewis used to mention as well. We can, and often can be concerning us in our mind. Well, I feel like my mind wandered most of the period of meditation. Even that, um, we just can let go of that. And whatever comes up, we're not avoiding, take note of it and let it go. We'll come back to it after the period of meditation and maybe with some novel thoughts from the divine within on how to resolve or solve it and have a degree of enjoyment and adventure in living through it. Now, it may be also thought related to this that, does meditation in fact help us solve problems by not trying to solve them? That does sound like a paradox, all right. But again, if we think of the different aspects of our being that we learn in our Rosicrucian lessons, that we have an outer objective mind, a subjective mind, we have beneath that a subconscious mind, and then the overarching cosmic mind, or expressions of consciousness. By not trying to explicitly use our subjective mind to think, deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, call back in our memory. Having done all that, it's good to have a time where we let go of that in meditation, especially if it's something that can't be readily solved by outer logical thinking, remembering. We're going to a resource like an encyclopedia or a reference. Because then when we let go, we can let the deeper part of our nature start to work on it. So we release it just like we release the visualization to manifest our cosmic attunement. We also have experiences like this when one's trying to remember something, and often there's a colloquial expression, it's all on the tip of my tongue. And then we just stop, forget it for a while. It comes up, you see, deeper part of ourselves through the subconscious, turning on the nature, on the cosmic even. We'll work on an issue and we'll have a flash or insight come forward. This is how, by meditating, we can solve problems by not trying to solve them during the meditation period. In a way, we get out of our way and let our deeper aspects of our nature focus on it. just like we released our visualization. Let the subconscious and cosmic mind go to work on it. And if it's something that's very strong facing us, yes, we can explicitly ask the question during meditation, have it like letters before our mind's eye. But even if it is strongly on our mind, we tend to find that during our period of meditation, things will be happening, working on it while we let go. We don't have to hang tough. It's okay to let up, because we'll find that we'll come back to things stronger that way. In a way, just like our heart slows up when we meditate and we come into an optimal heart rate of variability. The heart's varying the duration of its beats, so it can work better with the autonomic and sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system duality, steering us through life. Similarly, as we, in that letting go, come more into that harmonious action. And we'll feel that after a period of meditation. Even if our mind's been wandering a lot, even a brief period in the meditative state is extremely enriching. And often we can't really determine that well during meditation, how much, in fact, our mind's been wandering. Just like when we're asleep, only asleep, we think we've been up for much of the night, and yet we slept much of the time in any event, because we're shifting our phases of consciousness. Can also be asked an apparent contradiction or paradox. By letting go of who I am, do I fully become myself? Yes, that's true. There's sometimes expressions in our language that tie in with this, like we've heard often. We want to try to avoid being our worst, uh, our own worst enemy. We're doing self-sabotage. We need to let go and see things anew. That's why it's very helpful to hear the perspective of another person, or see the perspective of the child or the elder, or a person of a very different cultural background, and so forth. Be open to learn through the different expressions of the one soul. But also this way during meditation, a way we stand aside, get in the way first. We can get in the way of ourselves in living. In meditation, we have an opportunity to let go of that if we're doing that. In a way, we have an opportunity to let go of self-negativity. Self-negativity in general is no value to us. Yes, we can be discerning. We can be self-critical. But to use that to build up our strength and be uplifted and learn. It's true during meditation, we'll often feel like our mind is going back to the apparent past. We're going into the future. We stay in the present. It's something we can practice throughout our life, including the momentum we gain from meditation. Life will appear to us to have these three phases, these three time phases, but they're an illusion. But they're necessarily an illusion to learn. We can stay in the presence, we'll increasingly come into eternity now, and it'll express that in all that we say and do, and that much of our fears will go from us, including the fear of so-called death. But in this way, by letting go of who we are, we also have the opportunity to come more and more into the presence of the divine within, soak that up like a sponge and be more fully ourselves. It takes a lot of energy to be who we are not. Just like Ebenezer Scrooge in the story of the Christmas Carol was so exhilarated when he let go of so much of who he had been. He could be now more himself in wholeness. Same in our own lives, in small ways, we're reborn anew with each moment. Meditation allows us to come into that. And this way we become more fully ourselves, at one with the one, increasingly fully matured, fully growing up. And it seems paradoxically, in letting go of ourselves, we come more into the wisdom of the entirety. And we can see things more from that perspective. And we can see things more from the perspective of the whole consciousness of the cosmic. The final question of these seeming paradox I'd like to mention is, how does surrendering lead to the greatest strength and competence? So I know often a word like surrendering, say, "Whoa, surrendering, that doesn't sound so good. I don't, sounds like I'm losing out, or I've let go, or I haven't um, followed through enough or properly, or haven't done enough." This form of surrendering isn't like that. This form of surrendering is tremendously ennobling and enriching. Like in meditation, we talked about letting go, like we've just been speaking about now too, and also being receptive to that integrated state within us, our harmonious actions, our symphonic actions, musical action of all our systems working together as a unity and realizing them as a unity. And when we surrender, we can move from the finite plane to the infinite plane, just like we saw emulated in Lucas Samara's mirrored room work from 1966, which is still of much beloved work in that art gallery in Buffalo. Similarly, when we surrender, we allow ourselves to attune with the cosmic. We allow ourselves to move higher and higher up the octaves of the cosmic keyboard and take in a great influx of inspiration and ideas. And in that, we're strengthened. In many things that seem impossible, we're now able to do. And a great deal of healing can take place. So you see, this form of surrendering leads to the greatest strength, the greatest competence, the greatest maturity, and the greatest coming into being one with the one at the heart of mysticism. So before I make the final concluding statements, I invite Karen to paste in the chat for you the resources, which will go into one chat. You won't be able to copy them there, but you'll be able to click on the links. And also invite her to upload a PDF document that has all the resources and links in them, which we may wish to download right now. So by way of conclusion, I will say we continued in our series of presentations on meditation in depth. This is the 17th one on the seeming paradoxes of meditation. We've emphasized how an experienced meditation is the key and central practice of spirituality and the mastery of life that is living in harmony with all. And then much progress can be made by meditations practiced daily. As we have those uplifting, ennobling experience of meditation, we have the increasing motivation and realization that we need to keep coming back to meditation, fully grow up through its practice and through the great lessons of our weekly nature and our monographs and in life itself. And we've considered various questions to talk about the different phases of consciousness, such as how we can help heal ourselves by being still in meditation, in the dynamic stillness. And then how it's a profound act of non-avoidance that helps us throughout our life to not avoid things, fully face ourselves and growing up in the great adventure of living. And also meditation helps us solve problems by not trying to solve them during the period of meditation, but use our deepest resources as we let go in that regard and become fully ourselves by letting go of who we are and remaking ourselves with each meditation period, and indeed as a way of life moment by moment. And by surrendering, the greatest strength comes to us in competence. So in this way, we've continued to experience the great adventure of living on the mystical path in myriad ways in which Rosicrucian laws and principles are so lofty and yet so practical, in creating a more loving world, a more degraded, compassionate world, and a more thoughtful world for ourselves and all. Thank you.